I'd like to share some signs, some good signs of that when you're interviewing, you know you're on the right track and you're going well. Because a lot of times you're interviewing, you're like not sure. Is it going well? Is it not? Do they like me? Do they not like me? During the interview, you're not sure. Sometimes when the interview is over, you're trying to piece it together, figure out, how did I do? I'll make it easy for you. Here are some signs to look for. And then when you see these signs, you want to level up. When you see these signs that they like you, you want to keep going and keep working it to make it even better. Get the momentum up. You probably have been in this situation. You have an interview, and it starts out very perfunctory, very cold, very cool, but not mean or anything. It's just that faux professionalism that people, they put on that face, that game face, where they feel now I have to be really serious and I have to have this persona of I'm the interviewer, so I can't crack a smile, and I have to act like I'm an interviewer, as if I'm an attorney and you're on the stand and I'm going to grill you for stuff. If the conversation starts veering away from that, from those cliched questions, from the tone of asking you things but not in a nice way, not in a terrible way, but just in a very flat tone. If you sense as you're answering them, it switches and it becomes more fluid. They become a little softer in their approach. You watch their body language, they kind of loosen up. The eye contact is a little more. When you say something, they're nodding their head in agreement. It's like they rip up the script kind of and veer off of the usual questions, but then start asking real questions about you, your experience, your background, why you're looking, why you want this job. Then they also share about themselves. When they start talking about themselves and their experience without even you asking, I came here to this company for the same reasons you did. I saw that there's growth opportunity, it's a fantastic organization with wonderful people, there's room for advancement. When they start sharing why they're there, that's great. Then as the conversation flows, you notice it's almost like you're talking to a colleague or a friend. Maybe not a close friend, but someone, acquaintance, where it's a nice back and forth. And then you feel comfortable to ask the questions you want, they're answering, and it really kind of starts becoming fun, actually. You ever in that kind of interview when that happens, when you're like thinking to yourself as you're talking, wow, I like this person. Not only would I want to work for him or her, I think I could be friends with this person. This is great. And you could sense they're feeling the same way. And it's going. Then here's a good tell. When they start selling you, when they flip it from the back and forth, tell me about this job you did, tell me about this responsibility, tell me an example of your successes, tell me a time you failed, tell me a time you had to take on a project that was challenging, how you did it, tell me a time when you dealt with difficult employees. When it veers off of that to the person then sharing their experiences of what's happening, talking about the company itself, what they see on a day-to-day basis, what happens, what's going on. A great thing is when they start mentioning people by name. Oh, hey, you're going to meet with Greg about this, and Greg's a really nice guy, and he's into fishing and whatever he's into. And then there's Cindy, who you're going to meet with afterwards, and Cindy could be a little difficult at times, so don't get offended or don't get whatever. And then she starts sharing this inside information, if you will, about the people. Pre-COVID, a sign would be, hey, let me walk you around. Let me show you around. And then they would take you around and, hey, this would be your office. When they start talking in those terms, when it flips, it's not this cool back and forth. And when I mean cool, not cool, but cool, like kind of coldish, back and forth, clinical. But when they start talking about different people in the group, what they do, as I mentioned, who you're going to meet with, give you little tidbits about the people, the culture, what's happening there, then that's really great. And they start asking, and when I say about the selling part is when they, well, hey, do you have to give 2 weeks notice? When would you have to leave? What are you looking for in compensation? What title are you looking for? But not in a way to trick you up or trip you up or lowball you, but more of genuine interest of, hey, what are you looking for? What do you want to do? Do you think this job would be a fit? Would you be interested in this job? That's them asking. Would you be interested in the job? Do you think you would like working here? Do you think that this is something you would want to do? When they start asking those questions, then it's like, yes, yeah, that's it. That's what you want to hear, because it turned from, hey, this very cold, clinical, traditional, straight-faced kind of interview to getting to know one another, feeling comfortable, you're in sync, you're agreeing. She or his body language is such where you feel it's becoming informal, talking about different people by name, who they are, what they do, giving a little bit tidbits about the company, what they do, what are the kind of stuff they talk about amongst themselves, where they see it's going, and then when they start selling you on stuff, when can you start? Do you like the job? Are you interested in a job? Would you want to move forward if we would want to move forward with you? These are things that, yes. Then it's also nice when they start telling you what to expect. Who are you going to meet with? When you're going to meet with Greg? When you're going to meet with Cindy? What to expect from that? How long it's going to take? Maybe some little tidbits, some information that you'll run into, some good, some bad, some weird, some funny. These are all the signs. That's what you want to do. And when that's happening, you want to go with it. You don't want to do anything that's going to rock the boat. You don't want to say or do anything that's going to do. You just let it go. You roll with it. Let them keep coming. Let them keep coming with the questions. Let them know that you're interested. Let them know you're excited. Because if you play then hard to get, we talked about that before. When play hard to get, that may ruin it. Because then they're like, oh, I really liked you as a candidate, but I don't think you're that interested. It doesn't make a bad person, just literally thinking that you're not interested, and they don't want to push you if you're not interested. That's okay. So you want to let them go. You want to feed into it. You want to make sure they know that you're interested. And then you'll hear these, oh, you'll do this. Oh, you'll do that. That's key. So, hey, Jack, you'll do this on Mondays, and then you'll be part of this meeting on Wednesday, every third Wednesday of every fifth, whatever. And then, hey, you probably be invited. We have this retreat we go to. I'm not sure if we're going to do it now because there's COVID, but we usually do this thing where all the managers will come and we'll go to this sort of retreat, and it's really fun, and it's not like other retreats that are really bogus. This is going to be exciting. When they're using this word, you will do this, you will do that. That's fine. That's awesome. That's fine. Then you know this is really great. Then when they start saying, okay, here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to make sure that Susan from HR is going to call you directly, set something up, and then if you don't mind, before that interview takes place, give me a call. We'll talk about it a little. Then you're like, oh, so that's it. These are signs. I know I'm making it sound obvious because I'm giving you the big tells. The big tells. Oftentimes it's more subtle than I'm giving you, so they're not as glaring. But to move forward, my point about this, I'm exaggerating. Well, I'm not really exaggerating, but I'm giving you, hey, these are the big ones that you see. You may not see it to that degree, but if you see some of them, then you know. So that's what you want to look for. You want to look for where the conversation goes from that typical, mundane type of conversation, question, answer, that kind of thing, to the body language is looser. It becomes more informal. It becomes like two friends talking. They're sharing the scoop of what to expect, name dropping all the different people so you're comfortable. If and when you're allowed to walk around the office, they'll show you around the office. They'll point, hey, here's your desk, here's your office. Talk about things in the future, what you'll be doing. Then you know. And when that is, you're going for that ride. You want to make it easy for the person to say, I'm aboard. If you are, I'm aboard, I'm interested, I'm excited. You want to keep that momentum. Don't play hard to get. Don't try to then push, oh, wow, they really like me. I'm going to ask for a lot of money now. I'm going to ask for everything. Go with it. In this kind of market, again, I've mentioned this a lot of times. I sound like a broken record. You have to make these decisions based on the market you're in. In this kind of market, sometimes you don't want to push too hard. You don't want to lose it. So you don't want to say, oh, they really like me, so now I'm going to get everything. Go with it. Let's take a step at a time. Let's get that second interview. Let's get that third interview. Let's go forward. And then maybe, I tell you, if everybody does love you, then it could be that you could press it because you realize they all love you, they really want you, and yeah, then you have the leverage. So I know this may sound superficial at first, that okay, I would get that, but you'd be surprised when you're in the moment. When you're in the moment, particularly in this kind of environment, there's so much self-doubt, there's so much loss of self-confidence that you start thinking everything is going to go wrong. And this is a challenge in this environment. This is a problem. It's kind of a mental health crisis that's going on in this country and across the world. Because we're so used to bad things happening, it's just a meme of 20. All you have to do is 2020, right? We were all going through this. So when you're interviewing and things don't go your way, you're conditioned for it not to go your way, and you think everything is going to work against you. So when you see these goodbye signs, you may just downplay it because you're not used to it. But appreciate it because it does happen. It does happen. If you try enough, if you go on enough interviews, you send out enough resumes, if you network enough, and you do everything you're supposed to be doing, you're going to catch that break. It's going to happen. And when that happens, savor it, run with it. Don't do anything dumb to ruin it. Just go with that flow and make it happen and run with it. And don't second guess yourself. Don't use those doubts that are weighing on you. Well, they're just being nice. They didn't really mean all the things they said. Or they said it, but they don't really mean it. Nah, you deserve a break and you're going to get it. In life, more often than not, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. But every once in a while, you're in the right place at the right time. And this could be your right place. And seize that moment.